Hello everybody and welcome to January-February issue of Is Your Ex Coming Back? Just really quick note, like, don't freak out. You don't want to ex back. Do not watch this. It's not for you. This is simply the series for people who still feel connection with someone. They're in on and off relationship. They're not able to break the bones. I am going to, if you're the first time here, really give you a quick review of the spread that I'm doing for this situation. If you have been here before, you know the spread, then just like look, I think I'm going to put down here or which time stamp to go to, and just you go directly in the reading. So for this reading I am actually designating 7 cards, and they are significators, which means just like a title of a book, each category is going to tell me a little bit about that relationship. For the first card, the Magician, it's pretty much going to tell me if this relationship is starter. So I'll actually give the more detailed explanations for those of you who ordered the spread, which is still on the special for $50 if you really want to find about your relationship. The second card, Temperance Reversed, is really talking about things that need to be glued in a relationship. Then these are 2 significators. Either of them can be you, and it's kind of the energy and maybe communication in between. Now, what is basically the karmic intervention? What basically karma things that you need to work on in this time, and what should happen? And also the next steps in the relationship. So hopefully this kind of like gave you a really quick overview. I didn't kind of like spend too much time about that, so let's just jump straight in the readings. Hi Scorpio, and welcome to your January-February. Is your ex coming back? So let's see what we have. And you had a big help of Safi, who is obviously bringing you good luck in some kind of like instance over here. I do see something here that is kind of like half-baked. They are definitely thinking about you. They're also thinking about, and pardon my language, shitstorm about certain things. For you, however, it feels like you have been on the receiving end of something that you didn't deserve. It kind of like, we all hate injustice, and that's kind of like how this comes across. This is also karma card here, and it links to this card here as well, where we do have this blindfold. She's trying to make a decision, and it's really difficult. So there is like something that is going on, and I really feel that you entangled yourself in a situation where it was lots of stuff happening. Was it appealing? Well, Knight of Cups reversed is like that sweetheart. It kind of like gives you this big beautiful eyes, and then all of a sudden you see the real face, right? So it usually happens when you actually want to hold them onto their words or onto their actions. The unicorn doesn't want to sit still. Or when you just like simply catch them in a lie. Because usually this Knight of Cups reversed is like usually that person who lives life for love expressions. It just so it happens that it's almost like a song. They're like reciting something instead of living it and expressing it, and that's the problem. You're Scorpio. You don't take stuff like that really easily, because you sometimes almost like torture your partner because you really want to see this like deeply and fully. But it sounds like with this person that they let you down time after time after time again. It was not one occurrence. It looks like it was quite a few of them. And what needs to happen over here, boundaries need to happen both ways. Not only that you have to set the boundaries, they also have to figure out who they are and how to actually have what they want. Because I really think that's the bigger problem over here. They don't have a definition of, you know, their own ego. And they seem to kind of like float in that space between being a huge romantic to being almost like aggressive and kind of like taking things that are half resolved and thinking that's a solution. It's almost like when you have a discussion or conversation with someone and all of a sudden they change the subject, right? So you're trying to go this way, they go left and right, and then continuously, and then it can include ad hominem attacks, right? Kind of like on your personality. You did this to me. You know what they say, usually you have the discussion first 2 minutes and then everything else is an argument. I kind of like I'm picking up on a situation like that. So I don't like the justice reverse, but justice reverse, it says that something will be happening that you're not going to like, but you have to just grin and bear it. Why am I saying this to you? I don't ever like it. I'm a type of the person in a fight or flight situation. I fight, and it is unfortunate because it takes so much energy. Sometimes when I just can't, for example, I really cannot tell my boss to go where I want him to go, right? When you kind of like grin your teeth, sometimes things just resolve on their own, like my boss got fired, right? So that's what this says. Just sometimes by taking things in your own hand, you're absorbing the karma. By simply allowing this, and because this card is telling you, just sit and watch, because I'm sure there's like some kind of like debate in your head. Should I go back? Should I contact them? But this is what happened. You guys are able to really think and feel somebody and still say not good for me, right? So I dated one Scorpio a long time ago, and we were really good friends, and then we kind of like lost touch. And his name is Kevin, and he kind of like really chased me, but each and every time we came to, well, let's make this kiss or something, he would pull back, until one time that he really kissed me, and it was pretty good. But I thought, okay, so this is kind of like going well, I'm in my own career mind. But he said, I just want to meet with you. I really think I pushed too much, and I didn't really mean it, and I love you to death, but you are really not something that I really want long term, because I guess I'm too fluffy. And at that point I was like really interested in so many different things, wanting to explore. Basically we continued to be friends, and he was going through quite a few relationships at the time, and I saw that he was right. He was actually quite older than me, I think 7-8 years. So, and that's kind of like what you guys can do. You're seeing that long term. You're seeing that somebody is really not good for you, if that's the case. So let me see. Whoa, you have the 10 of Cups. You see, just sitting on that injustice, it's almost like you're being rewarded. You're kind of like realizing what is the happiness for you. I feel here that this whole situation with maybe argumentative nature, maybe somebody doesn't really know what they want, maybe you don't know what you want, maybe you had to define that for yourself and how you want your partner. And for those of you who don't kind of like go through that definition, you're going to have the Tower moment. And Tower talks about, holy smoly, right? Things are shaky, things can be better, things kind of like are not being set properly. And again, this is really telling me that maybe you really wanted something that is really not good for you. Maybe you didn't see it at the time, or maybe it was just intrigued, where for somebody else it was like already the stage, well, I have to make my decision. And when the Tower shows up, I like when the Tower shows up upright. It's not the easiest solution to go through. It's going to be sort of like, I would not say scary moment. It could be scary moment. It could be just like something that leaves you scratching your head and like thinking, where in the world did it go wrong? If you ask yourself that question, yay, because that's exactly what Tower makes you to do, to rebuild. And this is very close to your card of death, and that goes, you need to stop it, right? And you need to stop it, stop on a break, stop on a break. No, but sometimes people just go through it, they hope for the best, because after your death card we get a Temperance, which talks about, oh sure, I can somehow figure out, I can line things up. And then you go in the Devil card, which really does miracles on you because you're so sexual, and then this connection with someone is really important. And then this card goes, wake up, Scorpio, wake up. You had your chance, and now karma is stepping in and telling you, obviously, look, you need to kind of like figure certain things out, and it's not in a way that it was so far. And certain things are simply, there it is, your card as well, certain things are simply hopeless over here. I feel that involvement of this person is just causing you pain. The Death card, I don't know, like if you're dealing with Aquarius, or you're dealing with another Scorpio or Libra, they're like sort of like very, or maybe even Aries, there's like some strong energies over here. It certainly feels you see the death, it is your card, and it is like now showing in your partner's house. So that is like this wonderful card, just as I told you over here. It's kind of interesting that I went in that direction explaining, and the card shows up. In its upright situation, it says something has to stop because something better is going to be born. Very much like the Tower. I only think you are making this decision, and here is karma making the decision. It's kind of like shaking you up from this karmic train and saying, you are supposed to go to Paris, not to London, and pluck you out of your train and put you on the right path, right? This is where you can take off on the station and go on a different train, and you can still kind of like set your hair up and everything. This can be a little bit turbulent. That's what I said. And I don't know if you notice, guys, and this could be music to your ears, but don't let it be. This can look very phallic. It could be that you are reassessing how you get attracted to someone, right? Because the star in itself talks about, look, she's naked for a reason. Why is she naked? And she's not hiding anything like the other naked cards in this deck, because she's fully aware of who she is. These are the 7 chakras that she kind of like needs to address. We all have these 7 chakras. They're kind of like talk about certain healing and certain level of involvement, right? So there is like something here, and look at these 3 majors that are coming through. This is almost like Valentine or pre-Valentine that I'm seeing over here. But this is promising happiness. And what is happiness? You know, like this pretty kind of little cartoons, happiness is, you need to write your own line here. But I'm going to tell you, whatever you write now when you're listening, especially if you're listening to this before this Tower moment, you're going to write a different story after this Tower moment. Because you might think right now that you need A, and it's going to turn out that you need B, and B could be very opposite from A. There is another karma card, and it's also reversed. There is like still something. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 majors. And I don't think I've ever seen 5 majors in one row in any of my readings. It could have been a situation that you were in. Maybe you had a jealous partner. Maybe jealousy was suited. Maybe you felt like recognition or expression of love. You didn't see it as a negative thing, but now you start to see it as a negative thing. It almost looks like you're going to spend some time over here looking back and looking all the dark places that at a time maybe you didn't understand, maybe you didn't want to care, maybe you thought, well, I don't know this person well, and this is just like something like I'm in passing. And you're saying right now, no, it is starting to look like a pattern, right? Because she is kind of naked, but she is sort of covering herself. And Safi is fixing your cards. Look at this infinity hidden over here. So again, it's talking about possible another Scorpio, maybe Aquarius, maybe Taurus, maybe Leo that you're dealing here with. And there's like something that is still brewing. I don't know, like, I mean, somebody here is angry. Somebody here was romantic. Something hasn't been fulfilled. And the moon coming reversed is coming into that whole idea. We are just missing the sun, right? We have the star, we have the moon. We are kind of like coming to that understanding, reaching the finally that like tunnel. It's like you are not completely clear. There are like still certain karmic things that you have with this person that kind of like needs to be addressed. So that's why this card is still looking in the past. Oh my God, guys, this is going to be intense. But at the same time, if I tell you that you will be way better off and happy to boot, are you just going to grin and bear and just go through it? You can, guys. Like, you absolutely can. You're already having like 2 very strong karma cards showing up. So let's see one more thing over here. There's like a 3rd karma card. You're tired of lies. You're tired of things not lining up. It almost like looks like you're finding elements in other people that are really, really good. You're finding a friend. Great. You're finding a lover. Great, but not a friend. A friend cannot be a lover. Or you're finding somebody who is a partner, a strong kind of like intellectual connection. But you really want all 3, and it doesn't look like that has been experienced so far. So there is like another 7. You're opening yourself up. Look, I need to explore. I owe it to myself to explore. Oh my gosh, it looks like that either this partner might knock on your door, I mean text, door, you know what I mean, it might reappear. This also can mean that there's like somebody else waltzing into your life, or it could be them, and maybe they're going to be very disappointed that you have reached your decision, because all of a sudden when they show up, you will already feel at peace with what you decide. Because look, we have the Ace and we have a Ten of Swords. Like almost like it could be a conversation, could be rehashing a whole bunch of things, could be simply, look, I love you, but I don't like you, and I don't like you what you did here, I don't like you what you did there, you know, or you know, I'm never able to reach the level of comfort with you, or trust and confidence that this will work out. You know, sometimes we have these relationships and it's very turbulent. I can kind of like see it in your case. It's turbulent because it almost looks like this always had to be defined, and whenever finally you felt you can define it, you know, fixed sign, and that's where we see you here, then somebody pulled the rug under your feet and you had to redefine it. And I think you really got tired. Funny enough, this person, after being rejected, and I don't know, this person could be Scorpio, as I said, this person could be Sagittarius, Pisces, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, that I see right out of the gate, Aries and Libra as well. So there are some signs really making a point to kind of like appear over here. But this is saying, look, this was never meant to be. This was never meant to be, because I think Eckhart Tolle talked about ego and talked about how kind of like we engaged our egos, and then all of a sudden you go, and then like you kind of like drop this person and like you're fine. It's like, what the heck just happened to me? Like, I cannot recognize myself when I'm in this relationship. So this can be projections that we have. We project on the other people, they are projected on us. This person is going to turn around. You might be told, oh well, you did this to me and you did that to me, almost like as if all guilt is going to go to you, but it's not going to work anymore, because you have this like clarity right now after this shakedown. And it could be that very well it's something that this person is doing to you. You're stabilizing, you're getting into your King of Cups stage, and you're stabilizing in a way, and hopefully Safi is not going to interfere with us anymore, that you're totally getting it. This Temperance reverse is talking about, it is not about patience anymore. It is about what works and what doesn't work. And sometimes stars simply just don't line up. And I mean, we are having here this reappearance. Also, you might be dealing with a person, as it says here, who's not telling you the truth. That you always feel there's like something underlying, there's something amiss. You might be cannot put really your finger on it, right? But you kind of like feel it that way. So keep that in mind. You guys on the right path. You guys are resolving your karma. Look at that. 3 cards out of 5. And look at how many more cards I have. So Scorpio would love to hear your comments. What the heck is going on? Turbulence. I guess you like turbulence. You like challenge. So this challenge, you get it. If you want a bigger picture, order my annuals. You can kind of like see this like as a bigger overview, and all this, all the links are down in the description. If you want this reading, it is still on the special for 50. You can check it on ketero.ca. I also recommend checking your karma reading to see where you are. You are definitely, quite a few of you are working on something really strong, and almost like moving in a new direction from either feeling neglected or suffering from low self-esteem, or just like feeling devastated that you are not meeting the right partner and putting a blame on you. And that is going to come to an end. And that's the good news, Scorpio. So have a wonderful month, and it might be with a new partner for Valentine's. So I want to hear all about it. Love you guys. All the best.